Indian Mythology, Hindu and Krishna Gods, Myths, and Legends. Written by Bernard Hayes. Narrated by Zachary Dillon Brown. The mythology plot about Holi and its celebration, the festival. Holi, also known as Basanta Ustav, is the Hindu festival of colors celebrated on the last full moon day of the month Falguna in the lunar calendar. At the end of the winter season. The festival is celebrated with great fanfare by Hindus in most parts of India and throughout the world. The celebrations begin on the evening before with bonfires and prayers, and on the day of Holi, people celebrate by throwing colored powders and liquids at each other and greet each other with a Happy Holi. Bhang, a stimulating drink made from the female cannabis plant, is consumed by some people and forms an integral part of the Holi celebrations. Buddha Namano Holi Hai is a famous saying on Holi that translates to "Don't take offense, it's holy." Describes the nature of this festival that transcends every barrier such as age, gender, caste, religion, and status. One of the most spirited, boisterous, and happy beloved festivals of India, Holi is a time for families to get together, eat great food, gift each other, and enjoy by decorating their homes. Mythology of Holi. Stories about the mythology of Holi have been recounted in the sacred texts of Hindus and have been passed on from generation to generation. Holi commemorates the story of the demon King Hiranyakshipu and his son Prahlad, a devout follower of Lord Vishnu. The headstrong and egotistic king commanded everybody in his kingdom to worship only him, and those who refused were punished. Much to his dismay, his son refused to worship him and devoted himself to Lord Vishnu. Unable to tolerate Prahlad's devotion to Lord Vishnu, Hiranyakshipu tried multiple times to kill his son, by various means, like poisoning him, throwing him from a hilltop, etc., but every time he failed. Finally, he ordered his sister, Holika, to sit on a pyre with Prahlad on her lap. Holika had a boon whereby she could enter and exit fire unscathed. She followed her brother's orders, but Prahlad survived the fire by repeated chanting of Lord Vishnu's name, and was saved by his ardent devotion while Holika burned to her death. Legend has it that Holika was not aware that her boon worked only if she entered the fire alone. The tradition of bonfire on the eve of Holi emerged due to the burning of Holika. Holi derives its name from Holika, and is celebrated as a mark of victory of good over evil. In some places in India, effigies of Holika are burned during Holi, and curses hailed at them. And in some places, it is celebrated as a gratitude to the Lord Agni, the deity of fire. The moral message that Holi provides to the society is that however flourishing evil may be, truth and good always prevails. Also, Hindus strongly believe that ardent devotion to the Lord always pays at times of misery, and God comes to the rescue of his disciples. Apart from this, Holi is also celebrated as a tribute to the immortal love story of Radha and Krishna. Another legend behind Holi is the immortalization of the story of Lord Kama, the Hindu god of love, who was incinerated to death by Lord Shiva and his restoration to life. Ways to protect yourself from chemicals during Holi. The festival Holi brings with it enthusiasm, happiness, and joy on one hand, while on the other hand, the worry of removing colors. The color play during Holi may have a harmful effect on the skin if not protected properly. Some of the precautions one could take before going out to play with the colors are as follows. 1. While selecting clothes to wear, it is preferable to select clothes that cover your body almost completely. Wear comfortable clothes with no heavy jewelry, as there's a chance of losing them or feeling uncomfortable. In the case of women, avoid wearing clothes that are transparent, especially if playing with colored waters is involved. Applying mustard oil on the body, especially the parts of the body that are exposed like the face, hands, neck, and feet, helps in easy removal of color. Applying it to hair protects color from sticking and damaging the hair. 3. Avoiding the use of chemical colors is the most basic precaution. They are harmful for the skin and most difficult to remove. 4. Put a few drops of rose water or harmless eye drops after playing with the colors. Close your eyes and relax for a while. This will protect your eyes from harm and remove any color that might have gone inside the eye. In case of irritation, do not rub your eyes. Washing your eyes repeatedly with clean water is most effective. 5. Applying nail polish protects the layers of the nails. It would be preferable to not have long nails. 6. Mix Multani MIDI with water and apply it on the areas where the color is strong and let it dry before taking baths after playing. This mix is very good for the skin and helps in easy removal of color stains. 7. Another homemade pack that helps removing the color is mixing of gram flour, cream from milk or thick milk, and aromatic oil into a thick paste and applying on the face, neck, and hands. Curd with lemon juice can also be applied for easy color removal. 8. The best practice is to use natural homemade colors that go easy on your skin and hair. If homemade colors aren't available, make use of superior quality colors that don't harm the skin. The natural red and pink colors can easily be taken off compared to the strong purple, orange, or yellow colors. 9. Avoid the use of permanent dye, and if you think you've been playing with permanent dyes, be very careful while removing them. Using a moisturizing face wash or cleansing milk to remove the colors is advisable instead of soap, since soaps tend to render the skin dry. 10. Play safe. Take care of yourself and the people around you. Indian culture, unity in diversity. India is rich in culture and diverse in the same way. It has a uniqueness of its own. Indian culture is arguably one of the oldest in the world, and all across the country there are tremendous impressions of cultural heritage. The northern, southern, northeastern, and other parts of the country all have their distinctive cultures, and each of the states have carved its own cultural uniqueness. India, a vast country, has a variety of climatic conditions and geographical features. Besides, it's the home of the most ancient civilizations of the world. India is a country that has preserved its heritage and culture. The confluence of various religions has blessed India with a tradition and culture, the vibrancy of which creates a mystic atmosphere and leaves tourists spellbound when they come to India. One can easily find traces of various forms of music, architecture, dance, languages, festivities, customs, cuisine, and traditional beliefs in the country. Indian culture comprises several facets. Following are the most important ones. Religion. India is considered to be a land of spirituality and faith. Here, religions haven't only evolved, but flourished as well. Religion has a great impact on the Indian society and is an integral part of the life of the people. 4 of the world's most major religions originated in India. These are Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and Jainism. The teachings and philosophies of Indian religions are renowned all over the world. Thousands of tourists visit the Indian pilgrimage sites every year for learning philosophy. Art and craft. Finesse marks the works of art and craft in India. In fact, Indian art forms an integral part of Indian culture. Indian artwork not only showcases the craftsmanship of the artist, but is also an impression of the society. Every region of the country has its own art that lends diversity and uniqueness to Indian culture. The major crafts of India comprise painting, idol making, stone carvings, wood sculptures, metal statues, ornaments, terracotta, and jewelry. Cuisine. The cultural diversity of India is often reflected from the cuisine and the food habits that are followed in various parts of the country. It forms a very important aspect of Indian culture. The way and method of cooking usually varies between regions. Each Indian cuisine has a trademark specialty, and Indian food is highly revered all over the world. It can be said that witnessing Indian culture without Indian food would be an incomplete experience. Usually, Indian cuisine is a nice blend of both non-vegetarian and vegetarian delicacies, and the intelligent uses of herbs and spices. Fairs and festivals. These are the places where one can watch the real cultural diversity of India. Festivals in India are celebrated with great gaiety. In most cases, the traditional festivals date back to centuries. India is rich in cultural diversity, and Indian culture has garnered appreciation all over the world. Dancing in the Indian cultures. Indians have changed quite a bit over the centuries that have passed, but many of the elements in their culture still remain the same. One of them is dancing, which has always been a huge part of it. The various tribes of Indians have many variations to the types of dances that they perform. These dances have been used throughout their ancestry to be able to express a variety of things. Before the warriors would go off to war, there was a dance ritual to appease the spirits to bring them back home safely. Coming-of-age rituals for the youths of the tribes were often enough to warrant special dances that they took place in. Upon the death of a member of that tribe, they were remembering graciously, and dances took place to help them make their way to the spirit world. Dancing to encourage the spirits to bring rain or to bless the crops that they had planted for their survival was common as well. Most of the time, these dances were performed with various chants at the same time. Drums were often beat on in the background as well while the movements were in beat to it. You may be surprised that most of the Indian cultures involved the males performing the dances rather than the females. A great deal about different beliefs in Indian cultures can be evaluated by the types of dances that were in place. There are quite a few museums out there that have the costumes that were worn for them as well. The Indians took great pride in creating them from their own hands. They were extremely talented and creative when it came to using what they had available to make such costumes. It has taken researchers a long time to fully understand what an embedded part of the Indian culture's dancing is. They believe many of their dances are sacred, and they should only be performed for specific reasons. Many people of Indian heritage are interested in finding out more about this early type of development in their culture. In some areas, there are Indian dance and culture classes offered. They allow people to spend some time living as the Indians did. It also explains why they danced, when they danced, and how they danced. Such a learning program is a great reminder of the many influences we have out there around the world. No matter where you come from, some type of dancing is a part of that culture. For the early Indian culture, the dances were a way to connect with the spirits and the gods that weren't part of Earth. They had a deep appreciation for these elements, and dancing was their way to show it. Sadly, many of these dances aren't performed on a regular basis anymore. There are some reservations, though, where such parts of the culture are still alive and engaged in regularly, though. There are so many dance traditions that belong to the Indian cultures if you are interested in learning more about them. You can even go to some locations where they are reenacted in the full dress as well. These types of events are very special to those that take part in them. Mostly, they have a link to those early ancestors that took part in them. They want to continue keeping that history alive by sharing it with others that have an interest in it. This is a great way to keep that part of Indian culture alive and also being passed along to the future generations out there. Dancing is a common social activity that many people love. In wedding ceremony, dancing is a very important part. Therefore, many people want to learn to dance, especially the new couples who want to dance a bridal waltz on their wedding. Importance of gold in Indian culture. For centuries, civilizations have reserved gold as objects of luxury, believed to be worthy of only gods and rulers. It is one of the posh metals and holds immense religious magnitude, especially in Indian culture. Gold is taken as a sign of supremacy, beauty, and cream of the crop. Many people think that Indians are fanatics for gold, although this proclamation cannot be entirely denied, but the truth is that gold always had a particular connotation in all ages. Gold holds great sacred meaning in Indian culture, as it is the symbol of the Hindu goddess Lakshmi, which is considered highly auspicious. Hindus believe that their goddess was born from the cosmic egg of gold, and hence buying gold will bring them good fortune and destiny. Gold is a sign of power and status. Many individuals in India think that gold symbolizes wealth. In Indian weddings, gold bought as dowry by the bride shows her paternal family's status and wealth. It is believed that a bride wearing 24-karat gold on her wedding will bring luck and happiness throughout the married life. Indians are passionate about gold, and people often regard it as extremely holy. They believe that gold brings good luck. Hence, many people like to start their businesses or any other new affairs by purchasing gold, or decorating the idols of their religious gods with gold ornaments. There are special days in the Hindu calendar, which encourage its followers to buy gold on that specific day, such as Dhanteras and Dasera. Hindus believe that it will bring good omens if they make gold purchases on these propitious days. Besides, the Incas have referred to gold as tears of the sun, which adds more towards spiritual significance, as sun is the sign of authority. Gold is also bought on festivals like Onam, Pongal, and Durga Puja. These are the days when ladies get dressed formally and wear gold ornaments. They like to wear as much gold as they can, therefore, usually they are shining like bright sun. Gold is also considered to be a good gift item, and usually people exchange gifts made of gold on weddings, birthdays, and other religious festivals. India has a huge cloth-making industry, which uses gold threadwork in making cultural dresses for special occasions, and it is admired not only by Indian women, but in international women communities as well. Gold is an integral part of Indian culture, and is considered extremely sacrosanct. Hindus do not wear gold on feet, as it represents ignominy towards their god. Besides, they believe if they misplace gold, it will bring bad providence to them. Gold is clearly visible in every part of Indian life. In Indian culture, women and gold have remained more near to each other, and this tradition is very old and still continuing. It is an emblem of spirituality and command, and many cultural as well as religious myths are based on it. According to many, it brings prosperity and opulence. Saris, everlasting heritage of Indian culture. A 5 to 9 yard cloth has been carrying forward our rich cultural heritage for so many years, and will continue to do this noble work for years that are to come. The simplicity and beauty of a woman draped in an ethnic sari is something that cannot be put to any comparison or explained with a perfect expression. Due to the changes that keep hitting the fashion industry, the patterns, styles, and designs of saris are undergoing a huge makeover from time to time. The essence of traditional saris has remained the same, with the only new introduction of modish edge to it. Peppy and chic stylish saris have started to reach us in the form of fashionable designer saris, half-and-half saris, lehanga saris, and Bollywood designer saris. And women are falling head over heels in love with these trendy saris, which are meeting their needs with the strings of latest fashion attached to them. Designer saris are crafted so perfectly that these can be easily carried by women to any of the occasions or functions they wish to. Wear these in a casual get-together event or to some high-profile party and radiate equal grace, allure, and poise to whichever place you go draping them. Apart from becoming the first choice of all the stylish and trendy women, designer saris are gradually creeping into the lives of young girls too. The availability of girly and funky prints, designs, patterns, and colors are making these saris fit into the wardrobes of even young girls, who are nurturing a profound love for saris in their hearts. Indian saris make a large-scale use of a variety of fabrics that have their own uniqueness and quality to offer the wearer. Cotton, silk, chiffon, georgette, velvet, net, crepe, tissue, lycra, polyester, velvet, chanderi silk, etc. are a few of the fabrics that have been shaping the charisma of saris for a long time. While cotton keeps a woman cool and comfortable throughout the summers, velvet provides the required warmth in the chilling winter season. Every fabric has a different role to play, and different benefits to offer. Listed below are the specialties of popular sari fabrics that we generally come across in our daily life. 1. Satin, glossy surface. 2. Silk, natural shines. 3. Cotton, cool texture. 4. Net, lightweight and transparent. 5. Velvet, shiny and warm. 6. Chiffon, smooth touch. 7. Georgette, elegantly transparent. The world might modernize and fashion might come and go, but the existence of saris in our culture will always remain like it has been there forever, and women will go on adorning their charm in this cloth until eternity. Fairs and festivals, part of the culture of India. India is a land of rich tradition and culture. Huge numbers of fairs and festivals are held all round the year, and they see a participation from a huge number of people. Reflecting the vivacious soul of the country, these fairs and festivals occupy a key position in Indian culture, and also a very important component of Indian tourism. The traditions and culture of India are appropriately displayed in these festivals. The fairs and festivals that have become an integral part of Indian culture are often celebrated during the change of seasons. For instance, the Holi and Mewar festival are celebrated for welcoming the spring season. Tej is celebrated in Rajasthan to signal the onset of the monsoon. Bihu in Assam and Onam in Kerala, on the other hand, are celebrated with high enthusiasm and zest to observe the beginning of the reaping season. Various other festivals that have become an integral part of the culture of India include the Connaught Dance Festival, organized jointly by the Ministry of Culture, Government of India, and the Orissa state government. The country is also the home to various other festivals, like Eid al-Fitr, Durga Puja, Ganesh Chaturthi, Christmas, Vasant Panchami, Rath Yatra, Ram Navami, Janmashtami, and others. Many other festivals that have become a part of Indian culture include Naros, the Desert Festival at Jaisalmer, Elephant Festival in South India, Diwali, Dussehra, Raksha, Bandhan, etc. Fairs, too, are held in huge numbers. People from all over the country, as well as from several foreign countries, visit these fairs. In fact, many tourists and vacationers plan their holidays in such a way that they can attend these fairs. Some of the well-known fairs of India are Pushkar Fair, Surajkund Crafts Fair, Urs Ajmer Fair, and the Winter Carnival at Darjeeling. There's also the colorful carnival at Goa that's held each year. The Kumbh Mela is one of the most major Hindu festivals and a part of the culture of India. The full Kumbh Mela is held once in 12 years, and the half Kumbh Mela is held once in 6 years. The festivals and fairs that are an integral part of Indian culture are usually based on the planetary calendar. Through these events, people from all walks of life, cutting across caste, creed, religion, and sex, come together to have a joyous time. Prayers are offered to the gods and goddesses, religious congregations are held. People indulge in revelry in these festivals and fairs. The Maid of the Mist, an Indian legend. The Maid of the Mist is the name of the awesome boat that everybody wants to ride in when they visit Niagara Falls. Beyond that fact is an American Indian tale, a story of a proud and loving people committed to their own, to the land which surrounds, and to the gods which they served so that they may be kept safe. One of the gods inhabiting the lands was Hinnom, the god of thunder. He resided in a cave behind the Great Falls. To appease this god, the tribes living along the Niagara River regularly sent canoes, laden with fruits and vegetables and flowers, over the falls as gifts of thanks to Hinnom and his sons. This practice was carried out for a very long time, until it seemed the god of thunder was no longer satisfied with these sacrifices. Many of the Indians in several different villages were becoming ill and even dying with no explanation. The Indians discovered that after burials had been carried out, grave sites were being desecrated, and their loved ones' body and souls were being devoured during the night. They wondered what more they could do to please Hinnom. It was decided to sacrifice the fairest maiden among the tribe once a year, along with the traditional gifts which they had been sending. It happened that the most beautiful maiden of the Indian tribe one year was Lilawala, the daughter and only child of the chief Eagle Eye. The Indian chief allowed the preparations to take place, but he could not participate. On the day of the sacrifice, Liliwala was adorned in a white doe-skin robe, and a beautiful garland of wildflowers around her head. She bravely stood in the white birch canoe filled with fruits and flowers and vegetables and game meats and headed for the mighty falls. As she crested the drop, her father, Chief Eagle Eye, caught up to her in his own canoe, and they plunged over the falls simultaneously. Hinnom's two sons reached through a heavy mist directly in front of the falls and caught Leilawala in their arms. They both desired her greatly and took her into the shelter of the cave. Leilawala never forgot why she had fallen through the falls, which was to find a way to save her people from dying. She promised herself to one of the brothers that would tell her what was happening to the tribe and how she could stop it. The younger brother was compelled to divulge that a great evil snake appeared from the river bottom once a year and poisoned the water of the village. After the Indians died, the snake would reappear at night and eat the remains. The maiden was allowed by Hinnom to be carried in spirit by his two sons to her people to explain the deaths and illnesses and what to do to prevent it from continuing. Leilawala told the tribe to only drink spring water, and when the great evil snake returned, they should kill it with all of their weaponry. During the next visit to the Indian village, the snake was attacked and tried to return back to his hiding spot. He was almost across the river when his head became lodged in the rocks on the far side, and his tail end was caught on the other side. In his pain and anguish, he writhed himself into a horseshoe shape from end to end, and he died there. Leilawala returned to the cave and lives with the Thunder God and his two sons, protecting her people. Ramayana, Victory of Virtue over Vice. The Ramayana is an ancient Sanskrit epic attributed to the poet Valmiki and an important part of the Hindu canon. The Ramayana consists of 24,000 verses in 7 cantos and tells the story of Rama, whose wife, Sita, is abducted by the demon king of Lanka, Ravan. Like its epic cousin, Mahabharata, the Ramayana is not just an ordinary story. It contains the teachings of very ancient Hindu sages and presents them through allegory in the narrative and the interspersion of the philosophical and the devotional. The characters of Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, Bharat, Hanuman, and Ravana, the villain of the piece, are all fundamental to the cultural consciousness of the world. Morals in Ramayana. The brief narration of the entire Ramayana story by the sage Narada to Valmiki forms the first sarga of Valmiki Ramayana. Narada lists the 16 qualities of the ideal man and says that Rama was the complete man possessing all 16 of these qualities. Although Rama himself declares he is but a man and never once claims to be divine, Rama is regarded by Hindus as one of the most important avatars of God Vishnu and an ideal man. The story of Rama is divided into 4 parts. 1. Early life of Rama. 2. Rama's exile. 3. Abduction of Sita, Rama's wife. And 4. Slaying of Ravana, the abductor of Sita, and Rama's coronation. Main characters. 1. Rama is the hero of this epic tale. He is portrayed as an incarnation of the god Vishnu. He is the eldest and the favorite son of the king of Ayodhya, Dasharat. He is a popular prince loved by one and all. He is the epitome of virtue. Dasharat, forced by one of his wives, Kaikeyi, commands Rama to relinquish his right to the throne for 14 years and go into exile by his father. While in exile, Rama kills the demon king Ravana. 2. Sita is the wife of Rama and the daughter of King Janaka. She is the incarnation of goddess Lakshmi, Lord Vishnu's wife. Sita is the epitome of womanly purity and virtue. She follows her husband into exile and there gets abducted by Ravana. She is imprisoned in the island of Lanka by Ravana. Rama rescues her by defeating the demon king Ravana. Hanuman is a Varna belonging to the kingdom of Kishkinda. He worships Rama and helps find Sita by going to the kingdom of Lanka, crossing the great ocean. 4. Lakshmana, the younger brother of Rama, chooses to go into exile with him. He spends his time protecting Sita and Rama. Ravana and Maricha deceive him into believing that Rama was in trouble while Sita gets abducted. 5. Ravana, a Rakshasa, is the king of Lanka. He received a boon from Brahma that he will not be killed by either gods, demons, or by spirits after performing a severe penance for 10,000 years. He was also the most intelligent and erudite living being of his time. He was 10 heads and 20 arms. After getting his reward from Brahma, Ravana begins to lay waste to the earth and disturbs the deeds of good Brahmins. Rama is born a human to defeat him, thus overcoming the boon given by Brahma. 6. Dasharat is the king of Ayodhya and the father of Rama. He has 3 queens, Kusela, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi, and 3 other sons, Bharata, Lakshmana, and Shatrugna. Kaikeyi, Dasharat's favorite queen, forces him to make his sons Bharata heir apparent and send Rama into exile. Dasharat dies heartbroken after Rama goes into exile. 7. Bharata is the second son of Dasharat. When he learns that his mother Kaikeyi had forced Rama into exile and caused Dasharat to die broken-hearted, he storms out of the palace and goes in search of Rama. When Rama refuses to break his exile to return to the capital to assume the throne, he requests and gets Rama's sandals and places them on the throne. Bharata then rules Ayodhya as a representative of Rama. 8. Vishvamitra is the sage who takes Rama into the forest, at the behest of defeating the demons destroying his Vedic sacrifices. On the way back, he takes Rama into Mithila, where Rama sees and falls in love with Sita. Indian mythology heroes. Indian mythology invariably is one of the key elements of Indian culture, and while the mythology is deeply linked with both ancient Vedic religion and the religion in the present-day context, it may even be seen as a compilation of many interlinked stories. Some of the epics, like the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, are celebrated across the world, adored in every format. All Indians know these epics by heart, and are fascinated by the same, irrespective of the format in which these are put forth. A very interesting feature of these epics is that these sometimes find different versions at different places across the globe. The Ramayana, which is read in northern India, and the Tamil version of Ramayana, which is the Kamba Ramayam, for instance, could be slightly different. Just like the epics are adored by Indians and people all across the globe, the mythological heroes from Indian epics are worshipped and idolized. These are the deities of Vedic religion, in a tradition which has been ongoing since millennia. The traditionalistic Indian mythological heroes are loved for their heroism, valor, and might. The tales from the timeless epics like the Ramayana and Mahabharata tell us about the wisdom and heroism of the mythological heroes. These deities teach us the right way to live a life of virtue, defined as dharma. It is for their heroism and might that the mythological heroes are worshipped, and they infuse within the common man the virtues that guide him through the existence, which is the circle of birth, rebirth, and also salvation. The most favored mythological hero in Indian mythology is undoubtedly Lord Krishna. While Lord Krishna is the epitome of justice, he stands for the victory of good over evil, and also signifies strength, wisdom, and the judicious use of power. The deity has been presented in the form of an individual who rules every woman's heart. Tales of love of Radha Krishna have been popularized in the Indian culture, and an important mention in this regard is Mirabai, a devout saint who dedicated her life to the bhakti of Lord Krishna. Among the other deities who are highlighted as the Indian mythological heroes are Prabhu Sri Ram and Lord Ganapati. And when one mentions Indian mythological heroes, one cannot possibly miss the mention of Pawanputra Sri Hanuman, who happened to be not just the closest aide and confederate of Lord Rama, but also his friend and the greatest devotee. Tales of Lord Hanuman symbolize selfless service, as highlighted by the saying, Amart Seva Paramat Seva, which means service for a noble and genuine cause is service towards the entire universe. In addition, Lord Hanuman symbolizes might, valor, and wisdom. It is believed that praying to Lord Hanuman protects a devotee from all fears, and while he highlights the right path to move ahead in life, he induces within a devotee the innumerable positive qualities which are associated with Bajrang Bali himself. With the Divya Hanuman Chalisa pendant, always keep Lord Hanuman and the Hanuman Chalisa close to your heart. The Divya Hanuman Chalisa pendant lets you attain the blessing of the holy Bajrang Bali in all your actions in life. Lord Shiva's narration of the Ramayana. It is known and universally accepted that Ramayana was written by Valmiki originally. You will find material for these episodes from other sources as well, like orations, translations, opinions, critics, legends, interpretations, as well as books like Punit Ramayana, Bichitra Ramayana, Tusida's Ramcharit Manasa, etc., etc. Words of mouth play a big part in such epics. It is said that even the great Hanuman wrote a few incidents of Ramayana with his nails on large stones. The stories are endless. One such legend goes like this. Call it opinion, call it legend, call it belief, or call it interpretation. Whatever. But it is the opinion of some students of Ramayana that the original creator or narrator of this epic is God Shiva himself. Lord Shiva created and narrated Ramayana, but did not write it. Once Lord Shiva and Ma Parvati were seated on Mount Kailash, the Lord, as was his wont, was in deep meditation. Parvati was bored. Nothing interesting was happening on earth and in heaven to warrant her attention. So, when the Lord opened his eyes, Parvati requested him to tell her one story to kill time. After some initial hesitation, Shiva agreed. Parvati requested that the story should be long. Shiva put one condition that Sati, Parvati, could not sleep till the end of the story. Sati, in return, put her own condition that the story should be interesting enough for her to keep awake for long hours. So, Shiva started to create and narrate the story of Rama and Sita. The characters and incidents were entirely created by Shiva from his imagination. The story lasted for days on end, and it was so interesting that Parvati never blinked. Parvati was so impressed by their mammoth tale that later she insisted that she wanted to see the story enacted live, and for the Lord to create real characters on Prithvilok so that they can see them perform from their abode on Mount Kailash. And so it was. Lord Shiva himself was so obsessed with his own story that he transferred the same in the mind of Muni Yajnavalkya and often listened to the same story from the Muni. The orator became the listener of his own epic. Yajnavalkya Muni repeated the story to worthy people down the line. Finally, Valmiki wrote the epic, titled it Ramayana, adding and omitting a few incidents here and there. Still later, of course, many people wrote Ramayana according to their own interpretations to suit the time that they were written in. What does Hare Krishna mean? The Vaishnavist Hindu mantra came from Sanskrit names for the Supreme Being and took on new meanings in the modern West. Over the years, the Hindu devotion to the Maha Mantra has electrified and intensified the use of the incantation to the extent of spreading the chants all over the world. The Vaishnavism teachings embodied in the Hare Krishna Rama mantra is the focal point of Hinduism. Over the age, the Maha Mantra is prescribed as the purest, most assured, and easiest way to propel past life as one seeks his or her way in life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most known ancient proponent of the Maha Mantra, while A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is modern-age proponent who spreads the good news of Vaishnava teaching and Bhakti Yoga. Origins of the words Hare, Krishna, and Rama. Hare is the energy of God, while Krishna is God himself. Rama and Krishna appear as names of Vishnu in the Sahasranama and refer to the 7th and 8th avatars of Vishnu. Hare Krishna thus means a worshipper of Krishna. Rama, on the other hand, relates to Radharaman, meaning beloved of Radha, which is a shortened form of Balarma, Krishna's first expansion. Ram, the incarnation of Vishnu, comes from the famous story of Ramayana, a popular mythology among the Hindu. The word Hare originates from Haran, which is a little prayer to God requesting for supremacy over sin and sorrow. Krishna, a Vishnu incarnation, appears widely in the Mahabharata, a famous epic in India which depicted Krishna as the most popular god in Hinduism. The three words Hare, Krishna, and Rama are the supernatural seeds of Maha Mantra. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vaishnava Teachings, and Bhakti Yoga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the founder of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, is considered by his devotees as the most merciful manifestation of the Supreme Being Krishna, who came to teach people the process of bhakti and means of attaining the perfections of life. The Bhakti Yoga, which means a loving devotion to God, is a Vaishnava school founded under the teachings of Chaitanya, as written by the Bhagavata Purana and Bhagavad Gita. Vaishnava teachings are theism with many varieties. The instructions are based on the devotion of Vishnu and his avatars, incarnations. Vishnu incarnates many times and in different forms so as to set things right and bring the universe to balance. The avatars include Rama, Krishna, Narayana, and Vasudeva, where each name refers to divine supreme beings. Rama is the feminine form of God, and Krishna is the masculine aspect. In the teachings, Radha is the supreme goddess that enchants Krishna, hence the incarnation Radha Krishna. Narayana is the belief in one supreme God. The 16-word Maha Mantra. The Hare Krishna mantra is a 16-word Vaishnava mantra mentioned in the Kali Santarana Upanishad, which rose to prominence from the 15th century Bhakti movement, which followed the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The mantra has 3 Sanskrit supreme names, Hare, Krishna, and Rama. These singular vocatives are found in the Sapphic stanza of Anupst meter. The first appearance of these vocatives is in the Kali Santarana Upanishad, which is a Vaishnava Upanishad associated with Krishna Yajurveda. In the Upanishad, Narada asks Brahma the name of Narayana, to which Brahma replies, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Significance to Hindus throughout history. To the Hindu, the mantra is synonymous with prayer. The religious incantation or chant is a form of communication with gods when seeking favor or material wealth from them. The Hindus performed elaborate rituals, chanting mantras to please their supreme being, and request the assistance when fulfilling individual desires or realizing and identifying one's purpose in life. The mantra was a devotion to God and the contemplations of Krishna. Throughout history, Hinduism has had a very ancient and continuing tradition belief in mantras. The mantra is the heart and soul of Hindu ritual tradition. To the Hindus, mantra chases bad karma and makes things auspicious and pure. To Hinduism, mantras solemnize and ratify rituals. It is their identity. Western and pop culture uses. The yoga devotion is perhaps the biggest use of mantra in pop culture today. Using mantras for meditation gives the brain something to do. Spiritual mantras are believed to transform the chanter into a peaceful coexistence with nature. To yoga lovers, the peace brought about by the unresponsive silence exerts onto the believer a pure state of mind. Claimed benefits of reciting the mantra. Reciting the mantra is believed to transform the user to a peaceful coexistence with nature. Yoga exercises are a form of therapy recommended by many doctors around the world, especially as a means to ease the pressure, relax, unwind, rewind, and freshen up the mind. Scientists also believe that yoga is useful in controlling weight gain and high blood pressure. Things Hare Krishnas actually believe in. While Hare Krishna may be one of the best-known branches of Hinduism, just because you're aware of them doesn't mean that you're familiar with any actual Hare Krishna beliefs. While they have some things in common with Hinduism and other Indian religions, the Hare Krishnas remain their own distinct group, with a very different set of beliefs from those you may be familiar with in the West. Formerly known as the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, and nicknamed Hare Krishna because of their famous chanting, it was established in New York City in 1966 by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Though it is rooted in the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, which extends back to the 15th century in India, and the beliefs of Sri Chaitanya of Bengal. While Hare Krishna is probably best known for its chanting and promotion of vegetarianism, there is a much more complex belief system at play. They draw from the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavata Purana, as their sacred texts, and seek to cultivate spirituality through the word of Krishna, but that's just the beginning. God is a person with a physical form. While in some religions God remains a faceless omnipresence, Hare Krishnas believe that their God, Krishna, is a person. This is the case in part because they find evidence for this in their sacred texts. However, it also follows a certain logic. If everything else in the world has a physical form, they believe that the creator of that must also. However, there is overwhelming evidence against suggesting that the Supreme Person is not abstract at all. In the Vedas, the oldest and most comprehensive of all world scriptures, one can discover that the absolute truth has both impersonal and personal aspects. Since everything in our experience has form and qualities, it makes sense that the source of all sources should also, to an infinite degree. As drops of ocean water have the ocean's qualities in minute degree, our forms and personalities are infinitesimal samples of the infinite Supreme Person. Although they point to evidence that Krishna can have multiple forms, they do believe that they are actual physical forms, unlike some other religions' presentations of God. We all experience reincarnation. Hare Krishnas believe that we are not individual bodies, but instead are all part of a spiritual whole. Each person is a soul, a part of Krishna. We are not our bodies, but eternal spirit souls, parts and parcels of God, Krishna. As such, we are all brothers, and Krishna is ultimately our common father. We accept the process of transmigration of the soul, reincarnation. In addition, the Bhagavad Gita mentions reincarnation explicitly, as the embodied soul continuously passes, in this body, from boyhood to youth, and then to old age. The soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So, the idea is that your soul, or part and parcel of Krishna's soul, that you are, has lived many lifetimes before you. You just don't remember them. But for Hare Krishnas, the fact that you have no memory doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Yoga can connect you to the Supreme. In Hare Krishna, yoga is essential, but it's not the yoga you are probably thinking of. Although the Bhagavad Gita, the main spiritual text for Hare Krishnas, mentions many physical yogas that you're probably familiar with, it goes a step further. The importance of bhakti yoga, the path of dedication and love, is a much more holistic yoga practice than going to a studio and doing a flow class twice a week. In fact, it's a key belief of Hare Krishna's. As explained in the ISKON website, physical exercises are just one step on the path of God's realization. The Gita ultimately prescribes bhakti yoga as the culmination of other yoga practices. Bhakti yoga focuses on developing our dedication, service, and love for the divinity, Lord Krishna. Not only does this include chanting and meditation, but it also extends to the consumption of sanctified food, and living in a way that upholds the principles of truthfulness, mercy, austerity, and cleanliness. Cooking is a sacred experience, and vegetarianism is a must. Hare Krishnas are strict vegetarians who also avoid eggs. This is because they believe that cooking is a sacred experience and should be based on principles of compassion, nonviolence, and balanced living. Not only is killing animals thought to be violent and bad for your consciousness, but all animals are also Krishna's creatures with souls of their own, so killing them would be disrespectful and an affront to Krishna. What is the Hare Krishna philosophy? Krishna and Arjuna. The term Hare Krishna, or the Hare Krishna movement, formerly the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, is the orthodox core of Hinduism. It was registered in the West, in New York, in July 1966, but dates back over 5,000 years. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 1486 through 1532, popularized the movement all over India. Hinduism is the world's third largest religion with over 900 million adherents, second to Christianity and Islam, according to various leading encyclopedias, websites, and almanacs. The principal scriptures are the Bhagavad Gita, the Song of God, and the Srimad Bhagavatam, the story of personality of Godhead Sri Krishna Bhagavan. The Hare Krishnas believe in one God. The basic Hare Krishna beliefs can be summarized as follows. 1. By sincerely cultivating true spiritual science, we can be free from anxiety and come to a state of pure, unending blissful consciousness in this lifetime. 2. We are not our bodies, but eternal spirit souls, parts and parcels of God, Krishna. As such, we are all brothers, and Krishna is ultimately our common father. We accept the process of transmigration of the soul, reincarnation. 3. Krishna is eternal, all-knowing, omnipresent, all-powerful, and all-attractive. He is the seed-giving father of all living beings, and he is the sustaining energy of the entire cosmic creation. He is the same God as the Father Allah, Buddha, and Jehovah. 4. The absolute truth is contained in the Vedas, the oldest scriptures in the world. The essence of the Vedas is found in the Bhagavad Gita, a literal record of Krishna's words. 5. One can learn the Vedic knowledge from a genuine spiritual master, one who has no selfish motives, and whose mind is firmly fixed on Krishna. 6. Before one eats, one offers to the Lord Krishna the food that sustains all humans. Then Krishna becomes the offering and purifies the offered. 7. One performs all actions as offerings to Krishna and does nothing for one's own sense gratification. 8. The recommended means for achieving the mature stage of love of God in this age of Kali or quarrel is to chant the holy names of the Lord. The easiest method for most people is to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This has been Indian Mythology, Hindu and Krishna Gods, Myths, and Legends, written by Bernard Hayes, narrated by Zachary Dillon Brown. Copyright 2018 by Bernard Hayes. Production copyright 2018 by Bernard Hayes.